Okay, welcome back everybody to Coffee and Art in the Morning. I'm Dee Dee, and if you're watching this recording, it is a live show on Ustream, and we've already done a Inktober Society of Idea Collecting art book segment earlier, and so now we're going to start working in a Halloween themed, autumn themed. I did get me a pumpkin that I will be collaging later this month. Maybe next week, maybe Wednesday. I don't know. But I got one ready to go. So, and we've already talked about Inktober. And so we're going to get right into, let's move this out of the way. We're going to get into coloring. So I am going to color out of Dreams of Dragons. And it's a coloring book by, I'm thinking it's Ravynne Phrlan. I'm not sure, but there it is. I've colored a page out of this before, and let me get my color. And also, sometime this month, I want to color in a couple, one or two, we'll see. Jasmine Beckett Griffith's Halloween book, which we did a couple of these last year as well. Okay. So I will show you, and I keep my, any page that's 8.5 by 11 or thereabouts that'll fit in your standard notebook. I tear them out and they go in my book. Yeah, I got it for cheap, Suzanne. Yeah. Let me put this in here. So let me bring my book up here, and I know I'm really zoomed in, so I've done this dragon. This was a Bennett Klein one here. These are all Bennett Klein. Done a lot of Bennett Klein. I'm not going to show the whole book right now. We've done that a whole bunch of times. But I want to find my Jasmine and my dragon. Okay, so here's my Jasmine ones. And they're in sleeves, so it's going to be a glare, so it's a little flashed out, but just bear with me. So we did these two, and I can't remember if both of these or one of these were in her Halloween book. But we've done these two. These were not in her Halloween book. The pirate and the mermaid, they're just in her first book, which I have that too. These two were in the Halloween book. And you can see I've got lots of glitter, stickles, and so did this one, and the Cupcake Girl, this one, and this one, which we made into a harvest one. And then I've got a dragon here, I'm pretty sure. Let's see here. Got a bunch more back here. This one I think might be, let me see here, because I write them on the back. Okay, this one right here. Here's my Dreams of Dragons. So this is one of the books, this is a page out of the dragon book, and it's all glittered up. So, yeah, lots of stickles on this one. I wanted him very sparkly. Very sparkly. Okay, so there's that. So I wanted to show you those before we got started. Book's getting quite full. Okay, I'll have to start another one. All right, so again, here's the cover. And we're going to do this one. It's called Pipsqueak. Pipsqueak is another of my imaginings. He's a little bit rabbit, a little bit lion, a little bit dragonfly, and a lot of dragon. He's incredibly cute, and if I could make this little creature real, I would. He stands about 6 inches high, and when the light hits him just right, he becomes a rainbow of iridescent hues. He is gentle, playful, and loves nothing more than to rummage around in the grass and leaves, looking for bugs and beetles to munch on. He would be the perfect magical companion, if only. That's what she wrote. Okay, so I plan on using mermaid markers as watercolors. I won't be using them full strength because they're very concentrated and they come out thick. They come out of the pens real juicy. So what I do is I squeeze out a drop on a tray and use my water brush and use it like watercolors. Okay. The other thing we'll probably use is Jane Davenport's Brights. Not sponsored. Jane didn't tell me to use her stuff. But so we'll use her Brights. I do have her neutrals as well, but I don't know what we'll need yet. But I have those at the ready, and the Brights, and the mermaid markers. This is the original set. She's coming out with new ones, just saying. She's also coming out with a new tin of a lot of greens in it. Okay, so we'll put that over to the side and decide what colors we want to do. Now, she said that he's very iridescent. I don't know that I'm going to do him multiple colors, and like ombre with all colors and iridescence. I'm probably not going to do that. So, yeah, hey, Sarah. Anybody else popping in? Thanks, everybody, for being here. Got about 100 people. It's nice to have you. If I miss saying hello to you, if I see you in chat, hey, Karen. If I see you in chat, I'll say hello. Jamie, anybody else? I don't like to miss seeing anybody. All right, so let me just move this to the side. I will get my water spray here. I have one of these, and what I do is I spritz these down. Now I'm not going to do it obviously over the book. I'll come over here to the side and just spray it down so they're wet and juicy and ready to roll. If I need any of these colors, same for this one. Just spray it down so they're all wet, and whoops, there went my water. And then also, these are all either mermaid markers in here or watercolors, and these can all be reconstituted as well. I don't know what colors we're going to use yet. And we'll probably do pencil shading on top. Yes, I'll probably use stickles on the wings. I already thought of that, Beth. Okay, so I think I will, because there's like scales here on the tail, under the eyes, I probably will do some kind of a green in there. I'm going to try to go with Halloween colors. Usually you think of green, orange, and purple, so we'll probably just roll with that today. Why not? Okay, so, and then I got my water brush, which just is a Pentel finer point water brush, and there is water in it. Put my cap where I don't lose it. And let's just kind of think. All right, the first thing I think I'm going to do is tear the page out. For one, I'm going to tear it out anyway. All right, so here's one of the things that I do. I will end up cutting this down and mounting it on black cardstock. Okay, so it doesn't matter that it's jagged here. This is all going to get cut off and mounted on a piece of black cardstock. That being said, the information about him is here. The information about this one is on the back. So I don't want to not forget this, so I'll just take a pencil or pen or whatever, and this one is called the Wisdom Keeper. So I'm going to pencil it down here, and I'll just put in them, it's called Cat Turned Dragon, just so I have some information. I could write the whole thing all the way around the edge, because again, this is all going to get cut off. Okay, so that's enough information for me, because I will write the information on the back of the black cardstock that I tape this down to. So this also helps prevent getting the rest of the book wet, and I don't have to put wax paper between it, and I don't have to worry about getting the next page messed up, right? Although, let me go ahead and put a post-it note here so that I can write Pipsqueak and this information on the back of this one when I'm done. I hope that made sense. I hope all that made sense. So again, when I'm done, again, so I don't have to worry about going out of lines on the edge because this is all going to be cut off. I will get my paper trimmer out and just cut this down and put it on black cardstock. Okay, so let's see. I think I will go ahead and put out a drop. These are the mermaid markers, very concentrated. Now, one thing about these, when you take the cap off, sometimes the ink will splat. They're so juicy and concentrated, and you use them a lot, you got to be careful. So don't like open one of these over where you're working. I've done it. I managed to salvage things, but like just, kind of turn it downwards and like over something. See, look, it's splattered right there. So I'm just going to put out one drop. That's all I need. Well, two came out, but it's so juicy. See, look at it. It's all in the cap and everything. They're really juicy, but they're very concentrated, very bright, and very pretty, right? But don't open them over your piece. All right, so I'm just going to start with that. So I'm going to squeeze out a drop or two of water. Okay, I squeezed out some water out of my water brush. And I also want to have a Kleenex or two. Get that handy. To clean my brush in between. All right. That's why you don't talk, Erin. Nobody tells you not to talk. Okay, whatever. All right, so now I'm going to, let's see, let's zoom in a little. I'll just move the thing around. Let's see. There we go. That looks pretty good. And I'm going to do the scales. Now, this paper is fairly thick. It's not watercolor paper. And it's true of anything. When you want to layer up watercolor, neocolor, inks, anything wet soluble on paper, and you want it darker and darker and darker, you have to dry in between. This layer is not going to go through, okay? But if I keep wanting it darker and darker and keep adding more and more to it, it's going to, the water is what's going to go through the paper. So I don't think, other than alcohol-based markers, it's not the product itself that's going through, it's the water. It's the amount of water. That's true with watered down acrylic paints, watercolor inks, neocolors, all those water-soluble products. I mean, I use, I use a lot of my, for just some solid colors and things, I'll use Crayola markers, but you can't just dig down with a lot of water. Okay, there's a cap fell off there. Let me put that cap back on that marker right there. All right, come back here, marker. Let's put your cap back on. Okay. Yes, button, it is. All right, so let's go ahead and do, and again, I'm going to plan on using probably purple, orange, and green, and do like a Halloween themed creature. Okay, so this is just the first layer. And really, it doesn't matter if I go down here, just to show y'all, because that's going to get cut off. Yeah, if y'all missed it, here it is again. This is the book we're going out of. Jasmine is the other book that I've worked in and will work in later. Yeah, sorry, Terry, I didn't mean to confuse anybody. Yeah, this is the dragon one. And then the other one we talked about is the Jasmine Halloween. So there's those two. But this one's the dragon one. Thanks, Miss Terry. And I'm just going to get a start. Now, I may want to do some dark around it, black, like in the sky, maybe some smoky mist or something, because I always love doing that, you know. Thanks, Terry. Um, it's got some leaves here. I think I'm going to do those orange. So let me go ahead and clean my brush. Now I'm squeezing water out into my Kleenex and cleaning the brush, right? All right, so now I'm going to go over here. I think I will go over here to the neutral palette because it's got a pretty bright orange in it. These right here are all the Jane Davenport. So are the mermaid markers. So I'm going to go with this bright orange. I've already sprayed this down with water, so they're already juicy. And I'm just going to go ahead and do all the orange. I'll go in here and shade later, but I'm just going to get a coat of orange, and I need a little bit more water. I'm going to squeeze some water into the little tin here just to water it down a little. And we probably will not finish this, but hopefully we'll get far enough along for you to see the process, and then I'll post a picture of it on Instagram and Twitter and in my color book album on Facebook. Okay, let's see. I'm just going to say that's all leaves back there. Okay. And again, if I want it darker or another layer anywhere, I got to hit it with the heat gun and dry it, because that's what will go through. And not that it matters in this case, because I'm tearing the page out and putting it in a binder on black cardstock. So it doesn't really matter. I could use alcohol markers on it because I don't care if it goes through. But I just want to warn you, if you do use water-based mediums, to be aware not to oversaturate the paper. Okay, so I think I will ask everybody, what, if anything, are they coloring or creating for fall, Halloween, and we'll ask the same questions on Thanksgiving and the different holidays. We just like to enjoy all of them. I don't celebrate Halloween, but I don't mind doing some fantasy art during that time. So, you can tell me what you're going to work on while I'm looking this over. Okay, so I think I'm going to do the mushrooms. Let's go with the purple, and I just cleaned my brush off here on the Kleenex. Let's go ahead and see, do I want the dark purple? Let's see, what color do I have? I'm looking at don't really have a dark purple. Let's see, this one, the deep sea is more blue than purple. But I'm going to squeeze out a dot just to see. Let's see. And again, I'm opening it up over on the side. Let me just squeeze out one side. I think it's going to be more of an indigo and the same thing when you put the cap back on. Don't do it like right over, because it can splatter. Just saying. Okay, so let's see. Let's do a little test here. That's pretty purple if I water it down. Okay, so what I'm going to do is there's where I squeezed out the mermaid marker, and I'm going to squeeze out now a couple of drops of water. They're so concentrated, guys. It's almost black purple. It's so dark, because they're so concentrated. Okay, so Sonia is coloring in Flower Fairies. Megan's doing The Beauty of Horror. Erin bought 8 Halloween books. Oh my gosh, Erin. Are you going to do a video flip? You should. Shalene. She didn't say. Frances, a bat picture from Summer Nights and a Disney mandala from Disney Kaleidoscope. Mariah Cat is doing a steampunk costume in black and white for a Halloween belly dance show. Oh my gosh. Are you going to be the belly dancer, Mariah Cat? Daisy, not much for Halloween, but my interest in spread of the Sunflower Village. Doing a double page spread in the Sunflower Village in Thompson. Okay, wait, those two ran together. All right, so Daisy said, not much for Halloween, but my interest in Zentangle has come back in the past few days. Muse is doing Colin Thompson's coloring book double page spread, The Sunflower Village. Little Bit is working in Romantic Country. Galena is working and getting energy to do Inktober. I'm finishing her ATCs. Prisma, hey Prisma, eating candy to celebrate Halloween. Sarah's working in her daily journal. Yeah, I've seen some of your posts on Instagram, Sarah. Erin might do a flip of every book I have if people are interested in that. Well, you know we want to see your books. Everybody wants to see everybody's books. Of course they do. Everybody does. Bunny is her mushroom and butterfly color book pages. Oh, okay, Maricat. Okay, so now I'm going to take the purple. I'm going to do the mushrooms. And this is, just a base. Water it down. I don't want it to look too dark because I want to be able to shade on top. So, again, I'm right here, guys. I'm just trying to keep my sleeve out of it. So I think I'll do purple mushroom tops and maybe yellow bases because that'll make it really pop. So there's that one. There's a little one here. Gonna kind of dig around here and see where else. Do I have, oh, yeah, here's another one over here. Susanna's coloring in Alice in Wonderland and drawing a watercolor postcard. Yeah, Susan. I hope you're okay, Susan. I haven't seen you around much. You've been busy? I mean, I see you every now and then, but not like every time I see you. Karen. So thanks, everybody, for being here. Is Janet still here, Eileen? What are you and Janet going to do today? Is Janet streaming at 1? Eileen, you and her? I'm just coming over here on my watered down mermaid markers over here on the tray. And they'll reconstitute, guys. So if you've put a couple of drops out and added water and it dries out, you can just add water to it and it reconstitutes. Oh, okay, Suzanne. Julie Topaz, nothing special for Halloween, but will continue to post art daily. I know, you post every single day, Julie Topaz. She's 336 today. My 30-day challenge sort of morphed into a year-long project. I know, right? Eileen hasn't told you what you're doing yet, Janet? She's doing Halloween magicals. Okay, Eileen said you're doing Halloween magicals. Okay, so now I think I want her. Is Pipsqueak, did you say it was a her or him? It's part lion. So I'm thinking, do I want, even though it's part lion, I'm thinking, do I want that to be yellow and green and the wings purple and blue? I think, well, because I'm going to do, let's go with yellow. Let's go over here with yellow. Let me see what kind of yellow we have in the mermaid markers. Let's see what color this one turns out to be. All right, let's just go right here in this corner. Come on, squeeze out, squeeze out. Oh, no, that one's not wanting to squeeze out. Let's see how light that is. Oh, that's good. This one's not as juicy for some, well, yeah, it is too. Okay, let me squeeze it out over here. Okay. Because I want it almost yellow, not orange. So we'll go ahead because it's part lion. We'll go with yellow mane. Yellow fur, wherever there's fur. And then around the eyes here. I might go with another purple. What? I don't know. Maybe green. I think lime green. I think this will go. I'll move this from the yellow into lime green. And I will put eyes in it. There's no eye. I will put an eye in it. So let's get all the yellow on here first. Squeeze out another drop. It goes a long way. I mean, 2 drops I'm doing the whole line, the whole pipsqueak with. All right, so let's see. Behind the wings here, there's some fur, hair. There's some right there. But when you do a watercolor or acrylic or neocolor or some kind of a wash base, it goes so much faster than trying to color all this with just pencil. Doing some Halloween tangles. Okay, oh, that'll be fun, Janet, don't you think? Janet, now that you know what you're going to do today, Eileen said. Halloween tangles. That'll be good. Okay. All right. So, and there's a little bit of something over here. I'm thinking that's part of the mushroom. I'm just going to do that little bit yellow there. All right. So let's come back up here. I'm just kind of looking around. Now let me get out some lime green. She doesn't have lime green in that. She's got lime green in here. So I'm going to go into her brights. And let's wet that down. I'll just squirt a little bit of water there. And let's water that down in there. So what I'm going to do now is get a base of lime green on the rest of him, because he is part dragon, remember. Lion, dragon, and dragonfly. So there's little scales in here. So I'll shade those later. I'm going to do the eyes in just a minute, guys. All right, let's do the ears this color. Looks like it's got a little bit of hair or fur or mane on the tips of the ears. But the inside of the ears I'm going to do purple. Okay. Now I am being careful not to, I'm going to blend some of this yellow and green together, but if you don't want it to blend, then you have to be careful, because if you touch it, it's going to, bleed together. So this is just an initial color on there because we want it to dry before putting more shadow, more layers. So anything else y'all doing for your art? Again, I know Anne and Shalene and Jessica, and I don't know, there's a couple others that are doing the Jasmine book. I don't know what pages they're doing or anything, because I haven't kept up with their updates, if they have updated it. It's only October 2nd today. And I got to work on my next Inktober. I got the hands all drawn. I just got to do the main drawing. I'll do that later today. Lagging, Lagonfly, yeah. She named it Pipsqueak. Okay. So that's pretty saturated. I don't want to oversaturate it and pill the paper. So we will dry that. So look too flashed out. Are we good? All right, let me clean my brush. I got to decide what I want to do in the back. All right, let's go with, it's got, some grasses back there. I might go with a brown color like a sienna because it's going to be fall. I got the fall like leaves here. So let's go with the sienna color for the grasses. Oh, there's a top of a mushroom there I missed. Okay. To go back in there and do that. And that's kind of, while I'm doing this, see, it's letting the other colors kind of sit and dry. And then I'll hit it with the heat gun to make sure. Love the colors on. Thanks, Eileen. It's green, Eileen. You and Jean. Of course y'all are going to like it. I don't think I want to do the stem this color. Try not, I know there's a shadow there from my lamp, but I think y'all can see okay. I gotta decide if I want the background black acrylic paint. I might. Alright, so there's that. I'm gonna turn it upside down, guys, so I can get over here on this side and get these long grasses. And we're going to stickle or glitter them up. May use some glitter Posca that Melody sent. We'll see if I have the right green. Or on the wings. The wings are iridescent, so we could probably do a couple colors of glitter Posca on the wings. That'd be nice, right? And if you're watching on YouTube, thanks for watching over there, guys. I appreciate it. Wherever y'all watch. And I've been getting a lot of people asking me about Ustream, when I Ustream. Let's see. I might first, let me water this down and do a thin, just kind of, you can kind of barely see through the wings. I want that thinner because I don't want to cover up the wings real dark. On YouTube, on the banner, on the header, there's, on the right hand side, there's little icons for Ustream, Facebook, Twitter, that are all links. Okay, but I stream every Monday and Wednesday and some Fridays at 9 a.m. Eastern. And thank you, my mods. My mods are Terry Trouble. Oh, wait. When I say Terry Trouble, wait a minute. Wait for it. Wow, I got a lot of messages since I've been here. I just picked up my phone for the first time since we started streaming. Hang on. Where is it? Where's my Terry Trouble? That's my sound for Terry. And Eileen and Janet and Julie Topaz, they're all here. And then Sherry isn't, Sherry is the time difference. She's here occasionally. All right, let me go back to the purple real quick because I want to do this little bit that I missed right there. Missed a little bit of a mushroom. Okay, so let's see. I think I'm going to want the wings to have purple iridescence. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here to this purple, And I'm going to actually spray that down to get it really thin, like translucent thin purple. Just very, very thin purple. And do all the wings, starting with that. And then I think what I'm going to try is maybe put green, either Posca or Stickles, on top of this purple. I'm not sure. I think that's supposed to be, let me go back in there with the yellow. I think that's supposed to be part of the hair right there. That right back there. So I got to be careful here not to touch that now, because I want the wings to look iridescent. So I got to be careful when I'm going over it. But I want them to kind of, I'm going to just try to put a little bit of purple on top of the rest there, but not, I don't want it to turn brown. Just want it a little darker. See how it looks just a little darker than this, but you can still see the color through it? You just got to do one swipe. You do more than one swipe with it, then you're going to make it brown. Going over the top of green with purple. Okay, so there we go. I think I should dry now. Okay, so let's see. Oh, here, I missed these. Let me go back here to my sienna and get these. Little leaf things, blades of grass or weeds or whatever. That. Now the mushroom stems, I think I'll go with the dark green on those, just because I'm keeping it these colors, right? So we're making progress. Oh wait, what's that right there? So, oh, the stem's right there, right here. And over here, I need a sip of coffee. There's some other little things going on back here. I don't know what it is. I'm just going to cover that up. You know, you're the boss of your color book. You got something there you don't want it there, just cover it up. It's your color book. Right, back to this little bit here. A little bit of... Alright, so there's a start. Now there's no shading. Oh, I wanted the inside of his ears purple. There's no shading or anything done yet. It's just the base coat. Okay. I'm going to dry it and then I'm going to do his eye. Okay. Trying to finish this up in a, you know, and finish it up, at least a chunk of it. Okay, let's see. I think I'm going to have him have, do you want a purple eye, an orange eye, or a green eye? Any preferences? It's either going to be orange, purple, or green eye. Orange would really stand out and almost give him a fire look. I'm going to go with orange. So I'm just going to go ahead and color this whole thing in orange, just to base coat it. Just hang on, don't fret anybody. All right, let me dry that. And now real quick, I say real quick, I'm going to get out some, maybe I should just do it with ink. I was thinking just doing it with acrylic paint, but since it's Inktober and this is not part of Inktober, I'm going to go ahead and just take my little ink stone here take my black ink. This is what I'm using for Inktober. I'm going to drop out a drop or two, maybe three, and we're going to go with, now, don't use your water brush. Well, I guess you could use it with ink, but, okay, I got ink on my hand from the bottle. Hang on. Get it on my paintbrush. I'm going to use the brush I'm using for Inktober, just a paintbrush. But let me get a baby wipe and clean my hands because I'm going to get it everywhere. It's on the edge of the bottle when I used it this morning or last night. And, well, I did use it this morning on the new kanji. All right, so let's put this away. All right, so I'm going to use my brush and my ink, and I'm going to do the background. Okay. And there's some clouds and things back here. I'm ignoring that because I want to go over that. This should be waterproof ink. I didn't think about that because I want to go over it with a mist. Hopefully it's waterproof because otherwise we're going to be smearing ink. All right. But it does take a little longer to dry. Got to be careful of that. Ink takes longer than you think to dry, and then the next thing you know you're smearing it. So we're going to have to be a little careful. I know you can't even see my little tray of ink here, but it's sitting right there. I'm not just pulling this ink up off the table. It is in that little soapstone. Hang on, I'm going to fix his eyes. Just a minute, guys. Just a minute. I'm going to put a pupil and stuff and some highlights. This is just the base. And again, I'm not really worried about getting out lines because I'm cutting this off. I'm cutting the edges off and mounting it on a piece of cardstock. So I don't care if it goes off the... Boy, it needs... Do you have any questions or anything going on? I don't get many questions because I guess because I talk so much I tell everybody everything, so there's nothing to ask. These soapstone inkstones, they're made for taking the ink. Here, let me get one over here. Let me find where they are. Hang on. I've got some somewhere. Taking, here's the one. Ink sticks like these, and you grind it down with water, and it's supposed to be a very meditative type thing where you do it slow and you grind your ink down with water. And this is ink in stick form. I mean, it's like, you know, in stick form. And you grind them down in this to make your ink. That being said, I don't use it for that. I use it to put my ink in. My bottled ink in. It's for one thing, it's slanted. You probably can't see it, but it slants down, and so it's perfect for like if I use a calligraphy pen or a brush, and you can like pull it like this. See, you can get a round sharp point on your pen, your brush, so I can roll my brush through the ink. Same thing with the calligraphy nib pen. I can drag my pen nib through it and get just the right amount of ink. So yeah, but technically they're for grinding your own ink in. It looks like a phone case. It's about that size. Yeah. So this just takes a minute, but it needs to be done. Then we'll dry it again and hopefully not smear it, because like I said, ink takes longer to dry than paint. Just checking up on chat. Take a sip of coffee here. And this ink is just the Dr. P.H. Martin Black Star high carb waterproof ink. And then I also use, well, I use a lot of different ones, but I'll show you some of the ones. There's this one, there's this one. I probably have 10 different kinds, but this one, traditional Chinese ink here. This is the Dr. Martin matte. So I'm not real picky about it, to tell you the truth, as long as it's very black. Higgins is not as black as it used to be, I don't think. There's another one too. I have a lot, pretty much all of them, but here, one of the things I like about these is they're easily accessible from jet pens. So it's, I know I can replace them. This kind right here, I got a drip. This kind right here you can get at, hang on guys, let me clean this up. Like, what, Daiso and probably in even Hobby Lobby, I think you can get that. Okay, this is wet right here. Let me dry this, my desk, because this is just paper. Oh, brother, you didn't think it was high in carbs. Okay, I got a little something. There we go. All right. And wearing a white shirt, that's probably not the best idea either. But I didn't know I was going to do this today. I didn't have it on when I was doing my kanji this morning. Or Inktober. And, you know, I'm kind of rolling here kind of fast. If you're inking something, you don't need to go this fast. You know, coloring a background or whatever. I didn't know ink was, oh yeah, okay, I already saw that. Okay, I'm going to turn it upside down, guys, just so I can get over here without dragging my hand through the ink. I try not to have to turn things over, but it's still wet, so. Then we're going to start shading and stuff, so. And again, I will be cutting this out, so I'm not worried about going across this border here, because I'm going to cut it out and put it on black cardstock, like I do all my 8.5 by 11 color book pages. I take them out of the books and put them in a binder. And if you do put any like stickles or glitter, you want to do that at the very last because it takes longer to dry, especially stickles. Some of the pens probably don't take as long to dry, but if you use like stickles, you can't really heat set that. You just need to let it sit. So if you put glitter, stickles, or you know, whatever, you want to make sure that it's like the last thing you do so you don't accidentally drag your hand through it. Don't ask me how I know. Poem. Yeah, she could probably make a limerick. Prisma, she's good at that. She's one of the poet pillars. Okay. I think I'm running out of ink. Might need to get one more drop out. But it's just so nice and rich and black. And hopefully I can get it dry enough that I can go over it with white paint. Because I wanted to mist it. I wanted some mist. Because there were black clouds. I mean, there was clouds in the sky, like misty clouds. And I want to kind of do that with paint, though. But if y'all are not following Inktober, just hashtag Inktober 2017 and on Instagram, Twitter, and you'll see thousands of people all around the world that do Inktober. This is not for Inktober. My Inktober, I showed it earlier. If I get a chance, I'll show it again on this segment. Okay, so there we go. There's the base. All right, let me clean my brush. Okay. Heat gun. I like that black backgrounds too. But when you ink it, you got to make sure it's dry. I might go in here with some Posca, some of the, you know, the Posca shiny glitter pens that Melody sent. Let's try to use them. See what we can do. I'll do the mist, you know, I'll do the mist right before I put any stickles. I think the Poscas will dry, or I'll do a test. Let me get the purple here. So these are the Posca glitter. I don't know if they're they're considered really, really glitter. Let's try it on my little list book here. Let's. And see if I want to use this color. Well, it might work. It has to be a little different than that. So it's more shimmery than glitter. See how it's shimmering? It's more of a shimmer. This will probably be good for maybe some of the inside of the wings. as will, let's try the green now. Let's see what color the green is. For the scales and things. So let's see. There we go. See how it's shimmery? This will probably dry pretty quick. It's more shimmer than glitter. And then these other ones, let's test this out here. Let me move all these ink bottles. Let's get this purple pen. And this is like just a pen. So let's see here. It's too light. It's a light purple. Let's see, is there a darker purple in there? There's a darker pink. Let's try... Let's try the yellow. Let's just see. Yeah, see, these are going to be too... They're not going to show up. They're too light on top of this. They might give it a shimmer, but I'm thinking I like the purple and maybe the green. Right where the wing touches the green, and then some in the purple, and then we'll probably add some stickles too. Those two will add shimmer, but they're not glitter. They're shimmer. Okay, I think I'm gonna have to. Okay, never mind. So like for instance, let's try it on his back. Well, wait. First, do I want to go ahead and do pencil first, or do I want some more paint? I'm trying to decide my next step here. Because I don't think this is going to show up. Yeah, it'll show up on these spots on his back, but I think I need some, I want to do my shading first. Okay, so let's go ahead and do some pencil. Let's go ahead and move to pencil. So I'm going to move my watercolors out of the way here, just to have room. Move my ink bottle out of the way. Let me wipe my hands down with another baby wipe. Because I'm touching all my accoutrements that have ink on them. All right, so let's see. Let's move that. These books. Gotta make space. Throw everything on the floor. Okay, let's move this. Alright. Alright, make some space. Okay. If you're in a coloring pickle, go ahead and use some stickles. If you're in a coloring pickle, go ahead and use some stickles. Alright, you're so funny, Prisma. Alright, so these are the pencils I use all the time. You know, I've got, I mean, they're deep here. And every now and then I'll go through, this is just a silverware tray. Every now and then I'll go through again and get all the blues and greens, the browns, the yellows and oranges, the reds, and all the neutrals. I'll go through and do that every now and then, but when I'm in the process of using them, they just all get thrown back in here. And then if I can't find a color, then I'll grab a bundle. Here's my browns that I keep right here in front of me. So I'm going to go with this. Now, this has got a little bit of roughage to it. This is just like layers and layers and layers of paper. I think there's up to 16 layers now of paper on my desk. But it's not smooth enough to color on. So I need something behind this. So let me get, even if I just get my Daphne's Diary, just to have something clean. You know, so it's smooth. Well, there is a label there. Let's see. Let's go to the back. There's no labels. Because if you color pencil and there's something rough underneath, you'll pick it up. The bumps or the texture or the stencil or whatever's on there, you'll pick it up with pencil, and you got to be careful not to do that. All right, so let's see. Let's go ahead and get, I'm going to get probably an apple green to start shading a little. Start shading. And then yellow for his fur. This is the same color here, so I'll go with that and probably a sienna for a little bit of shading. Let's go with that for now. So, starting with, let's go with the green. Now, there's little scales, and those little scales are on his body. That's what I want to go over with this and see if it shows up. It may not be dark enough, but we're going to see if it'll, yeah, I'm going to get stickles too. And, but I'm going to try to do it, because this is nice to have a nice sharp little point and do little scales on him. But I want to first do the shading. So, I'm going to start, let's see, maybe I should zoom in again. How's that looking? Let's go to, it's a little bright. Well, I don't want to get too dark. That might be good. What book am I in? And what ink? What is ink? Look up, just look up Inktober. It's a challenge every October put out by Mr. Jake Parker. And you do an ink drawing or use ink in a drawing every day for 31 days in October. Whoever hello is. And this book is this one. Okay. All right, so I want to start and I want this green and yellow, I want the fur here to kind of almost kind of blend a little bit together. And I want to try to finish this in an hour, but I don't know if that's going to happen. So can y'all see some, I hope, now that I'm super zoomed in? And I'm going right over the top of the watercolor and the mermaid marker watercolor. I'm not going to cover it all up, but I'm adding my own shadowing here. You could do this with another layer of watercolor if you want. If you're more into the watercolor, like Jean would probably do the whole thing in watercolor. And these are just Prismacolors. Thanks, Terry. And none of this is ever planned out. We do it on the fly. So, let's see. I want a little bit of, looks like it's kind of scales right there. I'm going to do the eyes in just a minute. Just, you know, a little section at a time. Kind of scale rabbit. Could go over those whiskers too with white or some kind of a, that would probably be kind of cool actually, to have the only thing white, the highlight in the eye and the whiskers. That would probably be some drama right there. Yeah, as long as you dry in between, it's great as a base, as long as you dry in between layers, because it's the water that will saturate the paper and make the paper either pill, tear, or go through. So as long as you keep it like layer by layer, and you know, you can also like, all right, so I forgot to watercolor those 3 little hairs on the ears there. Same thing for acrylic, watered down acrylic paint. Okay, I'm going to need a darker purple here. Is that one good? Let me sharpen it. For the inside of the ear. Because I love having either an acrylic wash base or a, sorry for that shadow, I don't know why I got that today, or a watercolor, neocolor. It makes it go so fast. Not that I try to necessarily hurry through my color book pages, but having a base coat of something is so much quicker. And also the other reason is because color pencil will go over top of it. Like for instance, here, let me show you here. This is ink though, but at the same time, let's just say I colored this. Oh, I know I've shown y'all that sample. I wish I kept that sample. Dang. If this was black acrylic paint, black pencil. If you colored this all with black pencil, you would not be able to take a white pencil and go over it. I don't really want to go too dark because I want to do something on top of here. But over acrylic paint and over watercolor, you can go over the top of this. It's just so much easier to get layers if you have a base coat of acrylic paint or watercolor. And acrylic paint's a little bit toothier than watercolor, but either one will work. I first tried the acrylic for the first and yeah, I know, it's just so, you got something to work on top of. Okay, so now, let me go back to my green here. Let me go ahead and do his eye, so I'm not, people get freaked out with no eyes on things. All right, so for his eye, I'm going to get a black. That's purple. A black, and I'll get my white Posca for highlight. And probably a dark, well, I got my sienna. That should shade well. All right, so a dragon eye is usually almost kind of like a cat eye. So I'm going to kind of do that. I'm going to kind of do a cat, like a lizard's, one of these kind pupils. Then I'm going to shade. And then I'll use let's sharpen my white. I really probably need a light orange. Let's just go with, see if this will work. It's probably not, yeah, I need to go with white. Lighten that up. It's too much of a highlight. And then take my Posca and give it a highlight. I hear you, Diva. She's meowing. That's her favorite pastime. Meowing. All right, now I'm going to let that dry, and then I'm going to add a little bit of orange over some of that. It's too much highlight, but I want a nice bright. So let's see maybe that. There we go. I had a DD about white pencil over the top of it. Oh, thanks, Shalene. Okay, so there's a start. I'll let that set. All right, let's go over here to these mushrooms, and I think I'm going to go with the lavender on top. You sharpen. So I've got my ink, the, what do you call it, ink. Let's see if this is light enough. Nope, that's not light enough. I even need lighter. I might have to go with white and then this. Because this is going to be too, well, maybe. Shows up a little, but not as much as I want. So let's see. I think what I'll do is I'll get my white highlights on them. The mushrooms have like these almost like scaly looking mushrooms. I don't know. I don't know my shrooms, but I'm going to just put some different white on top because they're kind of, like I said, they almost look like scales. You probably can't see it because I've covered it up. But just a little something like that because I want to keep it Halloween looking like, I want to keep it kind of creepy. And then I might even go with some white dots with the Posca. And I'm going to glitter and stuff too. So let's just see how much time we have. Something like that. Now let's go back with the dark purple and like maybe get a little edge here. And if y'all see new people come in, make them feel welcome, please. I know the mods do when they see them, but everybody make the new people feel welcome because you were a new person too at one point. If you're stressed or feeling down, just watching Dee Dee will fix that frown. Pencils and markers, paint and ink. She'll make you smile and make you think. Oh, send that to me. I'm trying to collect up all your little limericks. You're so cute, Prisma. Okay, let's do this one over here. Now, this one didn't have any kind of markings at all, but I'm going to put some. Oh, wait, it does have some markings. These just go vertical. I mean horizontal. So let me just go ahead and put those on there. There's a few. And then I'll go back with the dark purple and kind of get in there. Yep, I hear the diva. She wants me to pet her. I don't mind petting her. She won't let me go up and approach her, though. I can't go pick her up. She won't let me pick her up. She has to come to me. And then she'll lay down and let me pet her. But you can't make any sudden moves. If I, like, pet her and then I, like, reach over for some coffee or something, bam, she's gone. She just does not like... I don't know. I mean, she lived with a family for 5 years. She can't be, like, abused. She didn't look abused. You know, of course, she's gaining weight since she's been here. But, you know. Okay, so there we go. Now let's go back on... I'm going to need some darker in there. But let's go ahead and try with the... Oh, no, I'm not ready for that yet. Okay. I got to do a little bit more shading here. In the... This isn't the darkest green yet. This is just the first shading. There's going to be darker green yet. But I want to get some shading under the hair here, under the mane, before I add the Glimmer Posca. So just a little bit of shadow there. I can still shade on top of it, I'm sure, but I want to get a little bit down. Get under all that hair, and then this side with this little body will be darker in here. How long have I had her? Gosh, 6 weeks maybe? I don't remember. I have the date on the calendar. I don't remember. I'm not good with dates, guys. I can barely remember what we did last week. A month to 6 weeks. Probably closer to 6 weeks, maybe. Hear my mailman coming down the street. It was so nice to have all the windows open. Suzanne, are you still here? Did you have all your windows open over the weekend? Wasn't it so nice? And again, over on this side, because those little scales are on the body on this side too, so I want to get along the hairline here. Didn't know you had a... Yes, Miss Allie. It's all on Twitter and whatnot. Yeah. Her name's the Diva. Not just Diva. The Diva. Okay, something like that to start. Now, let's go with let's just test out the green shimmer Posca. And I'm going to go over all those little scales that are drawn on there. And you don't have to have a shimmery. You could do this part with, just a marker. The Crayola markers. Just little solid colors. Or you could do a pencil too. Just little solid dots like. Gina, are you streaming today? I have. She may be napping. Or she may not be here. I don't know. The mushrooms are... I don't know what kind of variety they are. I don't know. Janet's streaming at 1 per Eileen. So, see, I don't know if you can see some of the little line art in there. See, I'm just going over it with this. Now, it's probably still wet, so I'm going to turn it sideways to get in here so that my hand doesn't touch it. Jean usually streams at 4 on Mondays. I try to make half and half. I have to have some time to do stuff. So I try to make half of Janet's and half of Jean's. And then Jean's I watch at night and fall asleep to. Just like she falls asleep here. Yes, I'm sure Jean's napping too, Eileen. She's more of a night owl, though. So for her to even be here this early is really nice. And all you girls that are on like the West Coast and stuff. I think I might add a couple extra little dots in there just because. Just to make it have a little bit more. Okay. All right. And a couple more dots. All right, so now on the scales, I'm thinking this would probably be good as like behind the scales. I don't really want to fill in all those dots because then the dots will go away. But if I get some of this shimmer like behind, like the darker behind the little scales. And then I'm thinking I want to put white dots on top and then go over the white dots with a lighter color to make them stand out. The little individual scales. I'm just kind of going between them right now. Still got to do some of the leaves. I want to do at least enough so that y'all see where we're heading. Because I don't want this to be a part 2. I mean, I want to, whatever we get done today. And then I'll post it on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram when it's done. I try to do that with all the pages. Sometimes it just takes longer to get them done. Okay. Here's a few more little scaly bits over here. Hi and bye, Megan. Hey, LBO. I didn't see what you said, but I saw that your name scrolled off. It goes fast. I gotta try to... Okay, let's just put a few more here. And then there's some up here on the face. You know, it's hard to color a page this complicated, or this detailed, I should say, in, 2 hours. But we're doing our best. Okay, now, some of the hair I want to shadow now. I don't want to lose the yellow, but I'm going to shade it with some sienna. Let me get a nice sharp point here. And I still got more on the scales and stuff, but let's just, because I want to do a little bit of everything. A little bit darker in the eyes, too. Remember, there was no eyeball in here. We had to add our own. See how we're adding the sienna? I'm going to go over some of that white with orange, but I want to make sure it's nice and dry. And then these little, if I miss some areas. So I'm trying to think, is there anything I'm watching? No, Lisa's probably already gone. I think she watches Outlander. I read all the books and I watched the first 2 seasons, and it got too violent for me. It got too violent, so I quit watching Outlander. And for some reason, I don't know why, the violence didn't bother me when I read it in the books, but I didn't like seeing it, so I stopped watching it. But I know there's a lot of girls that watch Outlander. I'm coloring out of, for those people just joining us, this is what I'm coloring out of. There's a little bit more green dots here. Thanks, guys. Hey, Rebecca. And I already did a part 1 video earlier, guys, if you talking about Inktober and the Society of Idea Collectors and some art books and stuff. So this is part 2. Well, it's not part 2. It's another show, another segment, another video. Really, Terry? Terry said this season's not so gory. Okay, well, I read all the books, all up till I think there's 12 books all total. Am I thinking there's 10 or 12? I've read all but the last 2, and one was kind of like a history of it or something like that. But I started reading them way back in, I think, late 80s, early 90s, and read them all up till, like I said, the last couple, and I just moved on to other things. And they're not going to be going. Okay. So see, we've gone from this to that. Let me go ahead with the orange in the eyeball here. I'm going like right over part of the white, just to kind of knock it back so it's not bright white right there, but it's still bright, you know. And almost could use just a little even darker brown. Where's my dark brown? In the shadow of the eye. Let's see. Let me sharpen this. Just a little darker right up under the lid. And maybe in the corner here. So there's this little eye. We started with the nothing. There was nothing in the eye. It was a white orb. And then a little bit of more green on the top, I think. Because I'm not done doing those scales yet. Because I want to do the white dots and then knock it back. They filmed in South Africa for the tropical scenes. Can't wait. Okay. Do you have a favorite candy? Do I have a favorite candy? I don't eat a lot of candy. Every now and then I'll have a Kit Kat, you know, square, whatever you call it. I'll snap off a Kit Kat. Let's see. I used to love peppermint patties. I don't really eat a lot of candy. Just candy. And I don't really drink many sodas. I'll have a Pepsi, like maybe every once a week, maybe I'll have a Pepsi. And I have to, just because I'm so thirsty. And water and nothing will quench that thirst like a Pepsi. But I really, my drinks that I drink all the time are coffee and cranberry juice. I live off cranberry juice. I love cranberry juice. So that's so sweet. You know, that's kind of like knocks the sweet tooth when you have, you know, juice. That's sweet. When you're reading books of violence, as far as your mind will, yeah, exactly, Suzanne. Your brain filters the violence. It does. When you're reading, your brain filters it because your imagination is what's picturing what's in the books, right? So I don't know. It's just not as dramatic or whatever. At least for me, I don't know. I don't read a lot of fiction anymore. If I'm reading, it's usually nonfiction. I just don't have the time to read a lot of fiction. I used to read a lot of fiction. Historical, like stuff like Outlander. Or I have a lot of mysteries. I love British mysteries, like British, you know, Scotland Yard type, modern day, you know, mysteries and things. I don't have time to read those either. But so I don't read a lot of fiction. I read a lot of nonfiction. I do a lot of research. I like to study on history and other things. So when I do read, it's just not that much fiction anymore. How does a candyholic avoid Halloween specials? I don't know. I probably ate more candy when I was younger. It just, I don't know, just don't eat a lot of candy. Okay, let's do this little bit of tail over here. And while I'm also using the same sienna to do some of these, you know, smoothing out some of those stalks of grass or whatever they are. I love bread and potatoes. I'm a starch person. I love bread and potatoes. I could eat potatoes baked, fried, hash browns, boiled, mashed. I love potatoes. Potatoes and bread. Yeah. I'd rather have potatoes or bread rather than candy. It's been so many years since I read the books that I mean, I remembered it when I went to watch season 1 and season 2 of Outlander. Everybody's still talking about Outlander. Um, when I watched season 1 and 2, I didn't, I had pictures of what Jamie and Claire looked like in my head, and neither one fit the description I had in my head. That being said, I didn't remember, I remembered the overallness of the books because it's probably been 15 years, no, probably 20 years since I read the first one. So it wasn't fresh in my mind. The details were not fresh in my mind. The Raisin Murder Mystery. No, I haven't, Bunny. But when you said that, it reminded me. I guess my favorite candy would be Raisinets. Raisinets would probably be all right. So I'm going back to the dark umber for some of the grasses, the shadows in the grasses. I guess Raisinets because I consider Raisinets a fruit salad because it's got raisins, and chocolate grows on a tree, and it's a bush, so it's like yeah, it's fruit salad. Terry, you like potatoes too? Oh. Yeah, Muse. I know, me too. Muse. All right, so now I'm going to get a little bit of dark umber in here, like in between some of these grasses here. Same thing for down here. I'm just shading those up a little bit here. And let's go back with the sienna here. Let's see, I think I want this to curl more like that. But I've shown some of the books that I like. Some of my Martha Grimes is one of my favorite British mystery writers. I have a few. I love books. So I have all kinds of mysteries on uh, book, the history of books, book thieves, what was the one? I can't remember now because that one's probably 30 years old. The detective, he used to be a detective, then he turned into a bookseller, book dealer. And so he would hunt down people that stole books or mysteries about books. Well, I'm not gonna have time today. I was gonna go bring up some of my favorite books. Let's see how much time I have. Got 30 minutes. Maybe I'll have, well, I don't know. Maybe we might have to do that on Wednesday. Won't probably have time, but maybe on Wednesday we'll talk about some books, fiction books. Get Jen and Book Nester and LBO and get the book girls over here. Booktubers. If y'all don't follow booktubers, there's a lot of good ones. Tatiana. Booktubers. Okay, so I'm just kind of getting in some of the shadow here. But I don't really like chat with them a lot because I don't read fiction much anymore. Don't have a lot to talk about with them, Bring up your books. Book addicts need some ideas. All right. It'll probably have to be Wednesday because this is just 30 minutes is going to take me to finish, even near finish this. So let's just keep working on this. So maybe on Wednesday. Let me make a note here. Books. Well, they're not all fiction, but probably most of them fiction books on Wednesday. Okay, we'll do that. All right. Okay, now I need a little bit more, need a little highlight on these mushrooms here. They're kind of getting a little lost. See, I still have to do the, what do you call it too? The mist and the glitter. See, we're going to run out of time, guys. No book time today. Let's put a little bit of highlight inside of his ear. How about that? What the heck? You have an echo? Run over if I need to, Janet. I don't like to do that. You know, don't want to disrespect you. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so I want to take the white, and in some of the scales here is I'm going to put a little white dot. And then when it dries, I can go over it with the lime green, and those scales will pop. Okay? See how I put the white in them? Okay, so look down here. See how they are flat? How the scales look flat? I'll do half so you can see the difference by adding the white Posca, letting it dry, or hitting it with the heat gun, and then going over it with a lighter color so that it gets rid of the white, but it's still highlighted. So we're going to do that. So we'll do half so you can see the difference. Okay, so now, just see how much that makes that dimensional? Disrespect you, Eileen. Janet. Okay, so see how that gives it, look at the difference between that and that. See, just by adding just the white. And I know it's wanting a flash color right there, but I don't know why. I think I have some setting that I didn't turn off. Let's see here. Oh, no, I guess I don't. I don't know why. It's just wanting to flash. All right, so just so you can just see just the difference right there, right? Now, if we, let me dry that though. And the eye. All right, now I'm going to take a lime green. Or you could even do it with watercolor if you had some like handy. I'm just going to go with the pencil. And I'm going to go over the top of the white with the lime green, halfway on the scales here, so you can see the difference. All right. See? Well, it's wanting to do something weird with the lighting. Can you see it if I just leave it there? Because I'm so zoomed in, that's what it is. So now I'm going to go over the white dots with the lime green. So they're not white anymore, but it still gives it that dimension. See how much more dimension this has than that? So now I'm going to do that around here, around the eyes. And then also, if you want even more contrast, which I do, let me get my dark green. Hang on. Let me find it. Is that dark green? What is that? Yeah, that's dark green. Okay, let me sharpen though. Okay. Now, I'm going to get in there in between, not every scale, but I'm going to get in between and really give it some extra, and around the eye here I'm going to start shading with the dark green, and you'll see how much more that last bit of contrast with the dark makes a difference. hopefully you'll be able to see. Look at that. See? Can you see the difference between this and, say, here? See that? That's with the dark green. Okay, let's go over here on his nose. He has some kind of little scale or some kind of a something. I'm not sure what it would be called. But his nose is kind of, he's got some other textures or whatever. Can you see that? But keep it light and keep it not so much pressure that you can't blend. So if I needed to go back in here and blend some more, I could. All right, so now I'm going to go right along here. Let's do, this will be real dramatic to see. See where the green right here with the scales? Now I'm going to do the same thing in here with the dark green. I'm going to get in here real tight. See? And maybe even around some of those scales, just a little bit. See the difference that makes? It's the high contrast. See? It makes so much difference. But make sure you keep it consistent. You got to get it everywhere or it'll look weird, like you didn't finish the page if you don't do all the shading everywhere. I mean, don't just do like right here on his face, because look how dull the body looks when you got all this going on, and then you don't do it over here. See, that you can't just do just the face or whatever. You got to do all of it. And it takes some time, as you can see. All right, so now I'm going to get down in here. Oh, and I got to do the iridescent. Oh, so I'm just not going to finish. But hopefully get some shading and color and blending ideas. So you got to do the whole thing. Okay, you got to go all the way down, maybe even around some of the little scales here. Make them pop a little more. Because I want to do some of the, I want to do some different parts. So. Okay, can you tell the difference between here and say here? So you're going to continue that all the way everywhere. And then the white dots all the way here. Go over the white dots with the lime green. And then I'll go in here too. I wanted to do something. See, I can't put stickles and glitter on top of him until I'm completely done with the coloring. All right, so can you see that? Yeah, I have other things I want to do on Wednesday, so I don't want to carry this over to Wednesday. But I want to show as much as I can, so, you know, I'll show the finished picture, of course. But you start adding the deeper shadows, like that, and like that. And then it's just such a high contrast, see? It just makes it really stand out. All right, so on the wings, and then also I need to fix, I see something else I need to fix here. I need black because I need to fix this ear. I didn't get ink right up against it. Okay, so you're seeing how that's going to roll. Now let's see about doing a little bit more on the wings. And see, I haven't done mist yet either. What I'm going to do with the mist, let's see, do I have enough done up here? Wait, let me get my dark green again. Let me get some of this done up here. Maybe I can do a little mist just so you can see. But the mist is going on top of everything, so you really have to have it colored completely. But what I'm going to do with that is take a baby wipe and a little bit of white paint. I'm only going to do a little tiny bit because I can't do this where it's not done. Okay, but I'm going to pull out just a tiny bit, just a dot of white acrylic paint and a baby wipe. Let me find a place where there's no ink. And I'm going to mash the paint into the baby wipe. Mash it in. And then this is what I'm going to end up doing, like in a couple of spots. Okay, we're going to do this. But you can't do this until the background is completely colored. Okay? Because you're going over the top. And we might even have a moon. So let's put that in there. And let's dry. Thanks, guys. And now I'm going to take my white pencil and put a glow. Something like that. I almost could use just a little bit, even a little bit wider. Let me go in with my Posca, get a detail. Small detail here. Something like that. Okay, and I want more of this. There'll probably be some right in here and down here, but I can't do this until this is all colored. All right, so let's see about a leaf down here. So I think what I'm going to do on these is I'm going to go ahead and take my sienna again, and the edges, see how the leaves are kind of like outlined, the veins? See the veins? What I'm going to do is I'm going to go in there in all those veins with sienna. I'll just go in there. Let me do one or two. Maybe we can get a little bit to the wing. So I'll get all the veins a nice dark sienna. But I want to show y'all enough to, so, you know, because you probably aren't going to color it exactly like mine. It's not like, you know, you're coloring, we're doing a demo, I mean, you know, you have to do it exactly. But I want to show y'all the techniques the different little elements that you can use in other things. Okay, so now, so you can see here, it's gone from like a leaf like this to a leaf like that. And now I'm going to just take a little bit of the orange and maybe just darken it up right along his body here. Maybe a little under his tail, there might be a little bit darker, something like that. And then take the sienna and even make a little bit more shadow, like really close to his body here, just going right over everything. Kind of blend that out like that. So from something like this to something more like this, and even that could have a little bit more orange, I think, down here. Maybe on a little bit of on different petals or something like that. So going from this to that. I want one of these for a pet. I know. They're called, what does she call it? Let me go to the page. Pipsqueaks. And this is how she described it. I'm going to work a little on the wing. Pipsqueak is another of my imaginings. He's a little bit rabbit, a little bit lion, a little bit dragonfly, and a lot of dragon. He's incredibly cute, and if I could make this little critter real, I would. He stands about 6 inches high, and when the light hits him just right, he becomes a rainbow of iridescent hues. He's gentle, playful, and loves nothing more than to rummage around in the grass and leaves, looking for bugs and beetles to munch on. He would be a perfect magical companion, if only. And that's her description. And it's out of Dreams of Dragons. Ravynne Phrlan? I'm not sure, but anyway. Okay, so let's see now. I wanted to get some stickles on his wings. Let's see if we can do this. All right, so I'm going to go with the purple here. And let's just go ahead and try to, with the shimmery purple, and this is the shimmery purple Posca, I'm going to do all the outlines. It's very tiny. And I'm going right over everything else that's underneath because the wings are transparent, right? So let's go right over the top with the shimmery Posca. Okay, so there's the first. Let me do this one here. So let's do the first wing here so you can see one that's done and one that's not. Okay, so you see how I'm gone in there with the purple, and it's shimmery, but it's not glitter, and it's probably not going to show up. But see all the lines there, the wing lines? That's what I'm going in on. So let's just keep rolling with that. And then I think we'll add some stickles to the wings. And I did kind of want to cut it out so I'll show you how it looks mounted on black. Even though it's not done, I'll go ahead and cut it out. And thanks everybody for being here. I hope the lighting was okay because I kept showing different things on my iPad earlier, so it was kind of back and forth. But so this is just solid coloring in this shimmery Posca. I'm not sure if they're called glitter, but they're really not glitter. They're more of a shimmer than a glitter, which probably isn't showing up and won't show up on camera or a photo, but they're very cool because they're going right over everything. Okay. this is what I've got to do this. It's going to take a minute, but I've got to go over all these lines. I've got to go over every line. It needs it, guys. I've got to kind of go, because I'm going to put, I'll try to kind of hurry. I've got to put stickles on top of it, so it's got to be done. So let me go over every line here real quick, kind of quick. Although line art, I'm going over every little circle with the paint. Let's just get this done. I'm just outlining everything that she's got on here. Not looking at chat for a minute, guys, because I want to finish. I want to get that stickles. And I'd like to put 2 colors. I mean, she said that's shimmery and iridescent. I'm not really wanting to put a whole bunch of colors, but I'd like maybe 2, like purple and maybe a little bit of green. So I'm going to do that as soon as I get this done, and then we should have time for that. Then I'm going to go make a grilled cheese and go to Janet's and probably work on my Inktober. Oh, I forgot. I wanted to show you all my Inktober too. Okay, so I think I got all the lines. All right, so all the lines have been outlined. All the circles, all the lines, and I'm probably not going to be, it's so tiny, guys. You probably won't see the shimmer, but it is shimmery. It's very shimmery. Now let me hit this with the heat gun. Thanks, guys. Now I want to get some purple and green stickles. If I have some, I may be out. I don't know. Some of these have not much in them. Let's see. Here's one with purple. I see purple down here. Here's a purple. Now let's see if I can find a green. These are old, what do you call it, vacuum cleaner filters. I don't have these vacuum cleaners anymore. But they're perfect size for stickle containers. Okay, so let's see if these have... Alright, so now let me shake these down. I haven't used them in a while. Hopefully they're working without me getting a needle into them. Let's see. Come on, baby. Ah, it's working. Alright, so now what I want to do is I want to kind of go in some of the larger... You know what I think I'm going to do? I'm just going to shimmer it in. I'm just going to put in the stickles with my, kind of like my fingers, and just kind of smear it in so that I can get the purple and the green. Okay, so I'm going to just go kind of on top, because they're, you know, they're pretty clear when you smear them out. I mean, they're translucent. Okay, so let's just go like right along the edges. How about that? That sounds good. I'm going to go right along the edges. Okay, now let me kind of smear that in with my finger here. See how shimmery, how glittery they are? Look. When I pick these up, you're going to see it. So hang on. Right along the edge, edge, edge. Now I'm going to take the green. Come on, green. Do I need to dig out another green? Because, you know, I don't use them that much. They can clog easy. Come on. That one doesn't want to work. Let me get another green. Let's see. Let's try this green. Down here on top of the dragon. Oh, I'm going to have to get a needle out. Dang it. Do I have another green anywhere? Because they get clogged up if you don't use them for a long time. And these are not empty, so... Ah, here's another green. Now, let me see. Where's a needle? Do I have one handy? No, of course not. Of course I don't have a needle handy. I wonder if I could just snip that edge. Let's just try that. I'm going to snip it. So I can get some to start coming out. Ah, there we go. I just snipped it. Come on. It wants to, but it doesn't want to. All right, let me smack it. Sometimes when you smack them down, it knocks everything back down. And then you can shake it back down. There it goes. Okay. It's still wanting to clog. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, this one's just not going to work. Might have to just go with the clear. I don't know. Let's try this one again. Yeah, they're too clogged, and I don't know where a needle is right now to clean it out. Here, let's try this green. It's kind of a mint green, but okay, there we go. Because I want it multicolor is what I was going for. Multicolor, purple and green. Okay. Now let's smear that out and see what we can just kind of dab it here. Because I want the wings to be shimmery and iridescent. Okay. All right, so here we go. There's purple and green in there, trust me. My pokey tool is all like matted up with paint, Terry. It wouldn't fit in there. So there we go. Can you see the purple and green? It could use a little bit more green up here at the tips. Okay, now, you can't really dry this with a heat gun. Let me go ahead and back out the camera now. Hang on, let's refocus. Okay, so now let me move this out of the way, and I'll show you real quick. I'll take, well, I was going to take my paper cutter, but I can't do that because the stickles was there. So I'm just going to go ahead and eyeball it. So what I do on these kind of pieces is I cut off the border and I mount it on a piece of black cardstock. Instead of having a white border, it has, it's black. And again, I'm not done, as you can see, but I think we got enough done for you to see some techniques. All right, now, let me make sure I get all the glitter off my hands because I don't want that in my eyes. I will have to definitely go scrub my hands with the craft scrubby. All right, let me get a piece of black cardstock. I have one handy here. And what I'll do is I'll take a piece of black cardstock and I'll mount this so that the border is all black. So that's what it'll look like. Thanks, Eileen. Thanks, guys. So I think you saw, even though it's not done, you can see where we're heading. We got the wings. We got the purple and some dark in there, and then I'll continue with the dark green all the way down the back, down in here. Sorry, it keeps wanting to flash. And then the the orange and the sienna in the leaves. I'll finish the tail, and then see how this got the mist going across. I'll probably have some of that coming across, just maybe one swipe here, and maybe a swipe right in here, just to give it a little misty. Okay, so yeah, so I think y'all hopefully got to see that. Let me show you real quick my Inktober, because that's what I'm doing all month. So if you missed it, let me move all the stickles. If you missed it this morning, I didn't show it yet on this segment, so I'm working in my really big really big show, really big sketchbook, and I posted already the horse, and the theme that I'm using this year is the kanji. So this is the kanji sign for a horse. So what I'm doing is the sign, one ink drawing, but I'm also doing a whole page of ballpoint pen drawings in ink of whatever it is that I'm doing. So yesterday was a horse. Today I'm working on, that's the kanji for a foot. I've drawn a whole page of feet with a pink ballpoint pen, but I'll do a foot in black and white, just like I did the horse here. I'll do the same thing. I'm going to draw a foot here. So then I'll have a page of ballpoint pen drawings, and then I'll have the foot over here, and that's the kanji for a foot. This is the kanji for a horse, and again, these are what I've done for Inktober. So it's more of a simplified version of my previous Inktobers, but if you look closely, you can see where I've used ballpoint pen, and that's what I've been using is ballpoint pen. I've been using the Inkjoy, ballpoint pen Inkjoy, and ink and a brush for the kanji and for the thicker lines is that. So this is all I'm using here for this. And again, over here, I'm just using like a purple ballpoint pen, but it's still a ballpoint pen. So yeah, you like the feetsies. So there you go, guys. That's what I did. That's what I'm working on Inktober. Every day, if y'all don't know what Inktober is, just hashtag Inktober 2017 or just look up Inktober. You'll find it. And yeah, so there we go. Thanks, guys. I will. As soon as I make me a grilled cheese, I'll be over, Janet. Okay, guys. So thanks again, and we'll see you later. Bye.